Here's what's happening now. Sunshine trying to help out, but it is still really cold out there. We'll show you how low it's going to fall tonight coming up. Paula?
Hi, Ben. Rapid and significant changes on this swath of road used by students to get to schools just beyond that view line. But is it enough after 2 kids are killed? Karen.
Also, first at 4, President Trump on the offensive this afternoon as the battle over his immigration ban creates drama all over Capitol Hill. Up first, a police chase in Dearborn Heights leaves a woman dead and a lot of unanswered questions. We are tracking the very latest on this investigation, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, a lot of questions right now swirling around a police chase that ended with a woman dead and the driver in the hospital. The chase started in Dearborn Heights when police noticed a car driving with a broken headlight and tried to do a traffic stop just after 5 this morning. The driver took off and crashed into a tree in Inkster just a few blocks away. The driver, a 50-year-old man, was in his girlfriend's car, but his passenger was another woman. She died. Witnesses say this was a violent crash.
Oh, it was very loud, very loud boom. And it just, oh man, it shook the whole house.
At this point, it is unclear why the man refused to stop. New at 5, Arshawn Lay talks with the girlfriend who owned that car. She's also asking a lot of questions, as you can imagine. You will hear from her tonight at 5. The murder trial for the man accused of killing his Uber driver began today. 24-year-old DeJuan Watson is accused of shooting and killing the 51-year-old Uber driver back in March. Today, both the prosecutor and defense attorney made their opening statements before putting 2 police officers and the medical examiner on the stand. The defense says there's no doubt the driver was killed, but no proof his client did it. The trial is expected to last at least 2 weeks. New court documents released today say former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick doesn't think he owes Detroit any money. Kilpatrick has been ordered to pay $1.6 million in restitution to Detroit, payback for his massive racketeering scheme. But Kilpatrick says he doesn't believe he should have to pay Detroit because it's impossible to calculate the amount of money he owes. In the file, Kilpatrick asks the court to remove the restitution requirement or at least lower it. No word yet on what the court plans to do. Metro Detroit got hit by a bit of snow today, but if you blinked, you might have missed it. The heavier snow blew into town around 9 this morning with lighter flurries this afternoon. We noticed the snow downtown started quickly and then moved on. It's sunny this afternoon, Ben, but what's going on in this first forecast?
Well, we're waiting for the temperatures to finally come back up now that we seem to have cratered, but that's not going to happen until we get into tomorrow afternoon. So we do in the 20s on the thermometer, but the wind chills have been the story all morning. They're still in single digits in a lot of spots. 7 right now is how it feels in Ann Arbor, 6 in Lapeer, and 10 in Monroe and also at Metro Airport right now. So tonight is going to be our coldest of the forecast. We'll see those temperatures even chillier than what we woke up to this morning. Warming up for the weekend, that is still on track, and we're finally going to settle into winter, it looks like, next week. And we'll check that out in your 7-day forecast in a few minutes. Karen.
A local school district is racing to turn a heartbreaking tragedy into something positive with new safety upgrades for students. We told you about the death of a 14-year-old student walking to school back in November. Paula Tutman is in Clinton Township this afternoon. And Paula, this area had problems even before the November accident.
Yeah, it really did, Karen. First of all, I just want to show you, if you can see off in the distance, you see a crossing guard right there. Students are getting out of school right now without question. 1 child being killed on this swath of road is too many. 2 being killed, something else entirely. And you can't minimize the impact that 2 student deaths has on opening up minds and motivation for people to work together and entities to get this problem handled. Paulette says she can still hear the sirens in her head. It's 3 months later, and she can still hear what it sounded like when a student was struck and killed near her home.
On that day, I heard the ambulance coming, and I knew something happened because it was dead quiet. Then when I went out there, it was earth-shaking. I knew something terrible had happened. And just 1 month before that, I was complaining to the township, to the sheriff at the county level to do something with the speed, to empower the guards to catch kids when they're jaywalking and running the light here and speeding.
Call it Macomb School Central, in less than a 1 square mile swath of former farmland.
And you've got 2/3 of the school district of 14,000 students on this corner. Nobody realizes in Cheyenne, every student there is a walker. There's not one bus student.
The problem, rapid growth and very little traffic infrastructure to handle kids who find their own paths to school when the sidewalks end. March of 2011, Neosha Nelson was struck and killed while traveling to school on foot. Victoria Cartwright, known as Tori, was struck and killed November of last year, mere yards from her front door.
And Mrs. Cartwright on the phone to the principal said, how is the girl who hit her? And to me, that just really stood out, that Victoria's mother, Mrs. Markle, had that kind of compassion.
Since then, rapid progress in getting the changes necessary to make it safer for students to travel to and from school in this area.
One of the things that happened right now is the reduction of speed limit. It's been reduced to 30 miles an hour with flashing lights. Now, it was there before, but that speed zone's been extended and the speed limit's been reduced.
Street lights are on the way. The speed limit has been lowered. A study commissioned to change entry and exit points to get in and out of the school parking lots. The Chippewa Valley School Administration promises parents and students that by the start of next school year, changes will be significant, meaningful, and in place. Okay, so the next question is, everything that they're doing right now, is it enough? Well, there are some other pieces to that. So you see that 30-mile-per-hour sign right there, Karen? We've been...
And we just lost your audio.
That speed limit.
I apologize about that, Paula. We lost your audio, but we will post your story on your Local 4 fan Facebook page. Another day is going by with President Trump's immigration ban still on hold. No ruling yet from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco. President Trump's executive order places temporary freeze on refugees and citizens trying to enter the United States from 7 mainly Muslim countries. Mr. Trump says it's all about security, but critics call the ban unconstitutional. Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch ended up in the middle of the heated debate over that court battle. Today, he continued meeting with Republican and Democratic senators on Capitol Hill, but he did make some comments yesterday critical of the president. Devin Scillian joins us with the latest on that. And Devin, today President Trump responded to that criticism.
Well, Karen, President Trump rarely backs down from a fight. We know that. And today, a spokesperson for Judge Gorsuch, there we go, confirmed that, yes, he did call the president's recent comments about the court system both disheartening and demoralizing. This all started when Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal went public with the comments made by Gorsuch during what was supposed to be a private meeting. Gorsuch was responding to a series of comments the president made, highly critical of the judges who were hearing the appeal of his immigration ban. Even though Gorsuch's people have confirmed the comments, the president is claiming Blumenthal still got it wrong, and the president has been getting personal about this.
You misrepresented his comments totally.
I asked you what your thoughts were, sir.
His comments were misrepresented, and what you should do is ask Senator Blumenthal about his Vietnam record that didn't exist after years of saying it did. So ask Senator Blumenthal about his Vietnam record. He misrepresented that just like he misrepresented Judge Gorsuch.
Wow, the president referring to reports from a few years ago that Senator Blumenthal once seemed to indicate that he was in Vietnam during the war in past speeches. While the senator did serve in the Marine Corps Reserves, he was actually stateside during the conflict. Also happening today at the Capitol, as we reported it would happen yesterday, Jeff Sessions was indeed sworn in as the new Attorney General, confirmed during a vote last night. Karen, more reaction on another very busy day in the nation's capital coming up here on Local 4 News at 5. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Devin. First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines all around the world this Thursday afternoon. We start in France, where authorities are reporting a fire and explosion in a nuclear power plant. It happened along the country's northwestern coast. The good news, there are no signs of a radiation leak. 5 people were treated for smoke inhalation. Investigators are looking for the cause of the explosion, but they have ruled out sabotage. And now a critical vote in London. That's humming and whistling in British Parliament as its members vote on Brexit. Pro-European lawmakers whistled Beethoven's Ode to Joy, the anthem of the European Union. Well, it didn't help. Lawmakers voted overwhelmingly to allow Britain to leave the European Union, confirming a vote by the public last year. The measure now goes to the upper house before it becomes law. Well, here's a photo op that surprises some people when they saw this. The man who played an American gigolo meeting with the Chancellor of Germany. Actor Richard Gere is in Berlin to promote a new movie, but he scored a meeting with Angela Merkel after praising her policies dealing with refugees. He described the U.S. as, quote, very chaotic, and said he looks to Germany to provide some balance to the situation at home. A fast-moving storm pounding parts of the northeastern United States today. Take a look. This is video out of Massachusetts. Several states urging people to stay off the roads as whiteout conditions are possible. And listen to this. That is the sound of thunder snow in Connecticut. A woman captured video as the storm started pounding her neighborhood. The storm has closed schools, canceled airline flights, and brought the Northeast to a standstill. Up to 18 inches could fall in part of New England. Still ahead, first at 4 new airline rankings you should hear before booking your next trip. Also ahead, it's a scary thing for many women, a false positive mammogram. New research today shows the impact of that experience, and it's something women want to avoid. Up first, we all know auto insurance is very expensive in Michigan, but are you doing anything about it? 2 mistakes that could be costing you big money. Next, first at 4.
Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
Absolutely disturbing video showing the savage beating of a 22-year-old deaf man.
I mean, he could have got killed.
What we're learning today about his attacker and the woman who's filming the video. Was this a setup? We'll tell you how these 3 knew each other.
All right, thank you, Jason. It is a hurry up and wait situation when it comes to your tax refunds this year. The IRS says the number of refunds issued through February is down 80% this year. That's because of a new law requiring the IRS to delay refunds to prevent fraud. Households that claim earned income and child tax credits are more closely examined, but you should still get your taxes done as soon as possible because early filing also helps prevent fraud. So when is the last time you went shopping for auto insurance? New numbers from insurancequotes.com show more than half of U.S. drivers haven't switched insurance companies in at least 8 years. About 39% of consumers have never shopped around for a better deal. And more than half think you have to wait until your policy expires to switch, and that is not true. You can cancel at any time, although there may be a small fee. So check the rules and see if you are still saving money. Let's talk good health. A warning for women who might be missing their mammograms. New research shows women who received a false positive result may avoid being screened in the future. Experts study data for more than 250,000 women living in Chicago. Those with false positives were more likely to delay or skip future screenings altogether. Researchers say doctors need to actively encourage those women to stick to their screening routines. Ben is back. The sun was out today. Even though it was so cold, it just seemed nicer having that bright blue sky.
It did. I don't know if that 58-degree temperature helped or hurt us earlier in the week because it sort of reminded us that spring is sort of just around the corner, but we've still got a lot of winter to go. And you can tell it in the wind chills that are out there right now. Single-digit wind chills, in fact, just above 0 is how it feels in Pontiac and Flit right now. 10 above is the wind chill at Metro. And a lot of us, everybody falling in between those two numbers. We will see these wind chills become closer to the air temperatures tonight, but of course the temperatures are going to be going down. So likely these numbers not going to look a whole lot different as we get through the night. Here's the radar, and you can see that line of pretty intense but quick moving snow showers that rolled through here very early this morning during the morning commute. Timing was not perfect, but again, didn't put down a whole lot, just about a ½ inch to an inch of snow in spots. We're generally dry. Satellite is not picking up some of the broken areas of clouds out there where the sunshine is getting through. And we do anticipate that we're going to keep these skies at least mostly clear through the early part of tonight. Clouds are going to come back late, though, and you'll see that here in the forecast map. As those start to increase late tonight towards tomorrow morning, we'll spend most of tomorrow mostly cloudy. There's just a slight chance we could see a flurry or a snow shower around during the midday hours tomorrow, and that's really going to be in our north zone where those better chances are, closer to the center of this clipper that's rolling across the northern part of the state. So as that exits, next feature it's going to roll through here is a warm front. And yes, there will be warmer temperatures on the backside of it, especially for Saturday. As we look at our warmest temperature of the forecast going up into the mid-40s, this cold front likely going to come through dry. And then on Sunday, that's when we're looking for a good chance of seeing some rain as we get during the daylight hours, but not nearly as much as what we picked up earlier in the week. These are low temperatures tonight, not the wind chills, but the actual lows. And you can see they're going to be close to what we saw last night, just a little bit cooler, 12 to 15 here in our north zone, or metro zone, I should say. South zone lows anywhere between 12 and 13. Looks like everybody should stay in double digits as we head towards tomorrow morning. Flint, Fenton, Milford, all double digits, but just barely. And in our north zone, looks like we're pretty much going to stay there with the exception of some 9s up there in Sandusky and Marlette and North Branch. And remember, the winds will be diminishing tonight, so the wind chills will be close to those temperatures, but probably just a little bit below. High temperatures will get above freezing tomorrow. We'll get to 33. We'll see a couple breaks of sun, but generally it's going to be a lot of clouds. Again, a couple midday flakes are possible, but should be inconsequential. There are those warmer temperatures over the weekend. By the time that this rain ends on Sunday, could be a little bit of a mix as temperatures go down late in the day. And then we settle into winter. Temperatures close to average as we get to next week. In fact, we're actually going to be sinking back below freezing here by Thursday, but we'll try to get some sunshine working their way in here among the clouds for each of those 4 days of next week. Karen?
Thank you, Ben. Love is in the air as we head to Valentine's Day, and apparently it's blooming in an office or workplace near you. That is one of our trending stories this afternoon. Up first, which airlines are getting a big thumbs down when it comes to customer service? New rankings when we come back. But first, as we go to break, take a look at the screen. This is how the markets have closed for your Thursday. In today's trending stories, Travel and Leisure has released a new list of airlines with the worst customer service. United is the biggest airline to make the list, coming in at number 9. Skipping to number 3, Frontier gets a thumbs down. Then Allegiant. Spirit Airlines comes in as the worst. Many Travel and Leisure readers saying it's almost impossible to speak with a customer service representative. Well, Domino's Pizza is targeting newlyweds with a wedding registry. That's right. Happy couples can register for a variety of pizza-related gifts. You can get pizzas delivered at the end of your wedding reception, you know, after people are dancing and they get hungry. The costs are a variety of costs. That costs $100. You can also get a package called the Post-Honeymoon Adjustment to Real Life, so you don't have to cook or do dishes. We posted a link to more information at clickondetroit.com on the lifestyle page. Well, it looks like it is blooming at work these days. A new survey from Career Builder finds romantic relationships in the office are at a 10-year high. 41% of workers now say they have dated a coworker. 30% of those office romance actually lead to marriage, but be careful. 5% of workers who had a workplace romance say they had to leave their jobs when the relationship did not work out. Still ahead, an unusual 911 call followed by an unusual police chase. So-called intruder trying to get away on 4 tiny legs. But up first, take a look at what I'm working on for tonight at 11.
It's a place that draws artists, shoppers, and is a gathering spot for many events. But what you might not realize are the fire hazards happening here. How can there be so many repairs needed, combustible waste that needs to be removed, and so many failures and non-compliance? We've got documents on the fires that have already happened.
So what does the city have to say about this? I'm Local 4 Defender Karen Drew. I'll have the investigation tonight at 11.
Better Health Markets.
Finally, first at 4, police in Texas get a call about a very unusual trespasser.
It was a lost female following customers around in the store parking lots, and at first, customers couldn't believe what they were seeing. A pot-bellied pig running wild at 3 in the morning.
I got a really strange thing going on here. I've got a pig wandered into my parking lot.
A pig?
A pig, yes, ma'am. Bacon on the hoof.
Bacon on the hoof. Yeah, I can understand why they wouldn't know exactly what to do. The pig, who's been named Piggy Wiggy, seemed pretty happy just to wander around the parking lot. It took 5 police officers and an animal control employee to round her up and get her on a truck. Animal Control is now hoping her owner will come forward.
I was going to say probably name breakfast, but that
that'd be horrible.
Probably not good.
Thank you for joining us for First and 4. Inside Edition is next. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Look at that sun. Breakfast.